do I bind you?
What is the deal, beautiful people? It's your boy Ramon. This is Lifestyles Defined. Let's talk about LG and the G5. I want to be totally honest here. I've never been a fan of their design language, and it just never spoke to me over the years. But I thought they had something acceptable with the V10. But now I'm looking at the G5, and I'm getting that very meh feeling again. I'm not sure what it is, man. But anyway, something changed a bit here, because when you talk LG, I've been used to seeing the volume button and power button at the back, and not so much the case here. So on the left side, you've got the volume rockers, power button off to the right, and on the back you have your camera clusters, and of course the fingerprint reader. So I guess it's not a bad looking design. It's just something about it. Like, the phone just looks like it's in a case already. I can't wrap my head around this design. So it's sporting a 5.3-inch IPS Quad HD quantum display. That's a lot to chew, but it should be a very good looking display, especially with that resolution. In the specs department though, this guy's a beast. So it's sporting a Snapdragon 820, and I think all the new Android kids on the block are. This is just a new version that you have to have. It's got an Adreno 530 GPU, 4 gigs of RAM, 32 gigs of internal storage, which is plenty. And of course, it also features an expandable SD slot. So, kudos for that as well. In terms of the battery, it's a 2800 milliamp removable battery, a bit small, but more on that in a minute. Actually, more than that right now. So the battery is removable, and I am of the opinion, coming from a Samsung world where they sell you this phone that can charge in 2 seconds. If it can charge in 2 seconds, but it dies in 1 second, it's still meaningless to me. So it's interesting to see these guys here with a smaller battery, and it's like, what do you want from us? You can swap it. I can see that. All right, no points there. But the way you swap the battery, this is what makes it a feature itself. This thing unloads from the bottom like a magazine from a handgun or something, and you slap the battery and then you just slap it up. Now, in that same mechanism, that detaching the chin, which I thought was very ugly when I first saw it, but after I saw what it stood for, the functions of it, I was like, all right, cool, it can rock. So when you remove the bottom, you can replace the regular chin on the bottom with what LG's calling friends, or to the non-geek among us, accessories. So the first accessory that they actually have for this guy is a hi-fi DAC or amp, and this is supposed to add high fidelity music or capabilities to the G5, and you would of course plug your very expensive headphones in there, because if you're going to use this feature, you need to have some expensive headphones to really take advantage of it, right? And the second, I think, is the more interesting of the two. It's actually a camera grip, and I love camera grips, right? I think Nokia did a great job with the camera grip on the 1020, and here goes LG. And you swap out this camera grip, and on the camera grip itself, it's got the back of it has this camera texture, which is supposedly a lot easier to hold and grip. It's got a dedicated shutter button for your pictures. It's got a dedicated video record, and then it's got a jog dial at the side for zooming. Me personally, I would not have made that zoom. Rather, I'd make it something like focus. I think that's a lot more useful than zooming. You should not be zooming at any time on your phone. Do not use digital zoom on your phone, folks. Just don't do it. But anyway, then this thing's got the USB Type-C, which is interesting because a lot of the other competitors, mainly Sony and Samsung, did not include Type-C, so that's there. And then it's got that always-on screen, which I thought was interesting because the always-on screen thing was never really a problem for phones with an AMO LED display, because AMO LED had the ability to only light the pixels that needed to be lit. So it wouldn't use much energy because there weren't much pixels burning or actually on. So I'm not sure how this works here, but I guess, LG said they got it under control. At this point, it is what they say. We don't have the phone for review, so okay. The camera, which is where LG's been making a killing here, and I think this is not a Cinderella story, but it should, because I've watched LG really make a killing with the G4 and that whole that laser focus technology, and then they really dialed it in with the V10, and they were just the king of the hill. I would watch Juan's reviews, and he really put it to the test, and I think the V10 is definitely the current king in the smartphone world in terms of camera. And then here with the G5, I fully expect them to carry over that. They didn't do what Samsung did, which was go down in megapixel count and up in pixel size, but they maintained the same 16 megapixel shooter, and they said they've done some work to it. It's got a new focusing system that's supposed to be fast, and this is where things get interesting. So on top of that 16 megapixel shooter that's to the back, there's a second 8 megapixel camera to sit there, and that's a wide angle lens that it was 135 degrees view. I don't quite get this. I don't know what, people love GoPros because they're so small, and I guess because you've got that wide angle view, but would you love that distorted wide angle view so much that you would want a whole nother camera on your phone? I don't know. I feel like that money could have been spent on another part of the device, but we'll see, right? It could be dope. What do I know? In terms of negatives, again, I'm not a fan of the design, although I think it's okay. I wasn't a fan of the chin, but I will gladly excuse it for the functionality that it brings. And I'm fully expecting LG to announce maybe one more accessory for the replaceable bottom, but I don't expect us to see anything mind-blowing out of that. But I really think this modular approach is super dope, and I think it'll take another year or two before they can start to think up really innovative, boundary pushing things that would actually make sense to us. I can't think of anything that would be doper outside of a camera grip, outside of that amp that they already have. So, I mean, you guys make some comments. Let me know what you think would have been dope down there. The battery is a bit on the small side. This is a negative, but again, they did give you the ability to remove the battery and swap it. And I'm not so sure about that wide angle lens. But my takeaway here from this phone, although it's not my favorite in the design department or just in general, is the negatives aren't really negatives from what I can tell. It's just a preference thing. And I think that makes the LG G5 a much more solid competitor than some of the other ones. And don't worry, we'll be doing some comparison videos coming soon. So yeah, my name is Ramon. Like the video if you like it. Subscribe for plenty more. Quick note before I get out of here. Lifestyles Defined is coming up on our 4th year in existence in April. And we always celebrate by having a party because there's a lot of people involved and a lot of hard work. And there's so many levels to this, right? Even if you talk about ignorant gamers and how we have a very good presence on Instagram and blah, blah, blah. A lot of you guys already know the spiel. Now, we went ahead and had a design, or I came up with a design actually, for what I'm calling the LD Love Collection. You should see that right now. You can get the link on the website. When you hit the website, it's at the top right. You can get it on our Facebook page. You can get it on our Instagram. Twitter, not so much. Twitter moves a mile a minute. So the idea here is a lot of the profit from these t-shirts, these hoodies, if you think it's dope enough, and we'd be honored if you do think it's dope enough and something you would actually wear, it goes toward not the party but the general maintenance of the channel, and we've been fighting to get our budget up and get our resources together so we can get more things, more phones to review, tablets, laptops, all of that stuff. So this is us putting stuff in motion, and we would really appreciate your support. And the way you do so is by heading to the link and checking out the merch and letting me know if you like it, and hit that buy button if you really like it. And even if you don't like it, just leave a comment below. Let us know how you feel about it. If any feedback you have on it, any things you would like us to do in the future, any ideas you got. Dopeness. I'm out of here. Peace.
From the deep forest into the sun.